Hello, my name is Juanita, aka the Caramel Yogi, and today is part 2 of our Vinyasa Yoga for beginners in the month of May. So just find yourself in a comfortable seated position. I'm choosing an easy seated pose today. Begin to close your eyes to the outward gaze, maybe finding the palms on top of knees, or palms up to the sky for receiving. Take this moment, deep inhale, bring the shoulders to the ears. Then exhale, relax the shoulders back and down, pulling the shoulder blades together. I want you to fully tune into your breath, the natural ebb and flow, and bring your body to a resting point. Notice the coolness of your inhale. And exhale any and all that is no longer serving you in today's practice. If you like, you can set an intention here for creating a space for yourself, allowing your body to be guided by movement, whatever you may need. My intention for today, if you'd like to share in mine, is to allow my body to move by my breath. And just kindly remind yourself through the practice of the affirmation or intention that you set to bring you back to this state of zen, of comfort, whatever you'd like to call this peace. And as you do all classes, let's begin to create space for ourselves. So allow the hands to just settle next to the hips, relax the shoulders down. And on the inhale, slowly bring the hands up overhead, making this tiny bubble for you to exist in. And exhale, sigh it out, taking up space on your way down, hands grounding next to the hips. Do this again, nice deep inhale. Maybe open the eyes, looking up between the hands. And exhale, release the hands down. And once more, inhale, hands up to the sky. And exhale, release that out. As the hands come towards the knees this time, go ahead and invite these Sufi circles or Kundalini circles to build up that energy right underneath our sits bones. Take a pace that feels good for you, feels good for your back. Maybe we're just starting to wake up if you're on Pacific time. Remember, allow the breath to guide the movement. And as soon as you start to feel that energy start to come up, or maybe that warmth in your body, a little bit more flexibility, let's take it in the other direction. Nice full breaths, allowing the heart to melt forward, allowing space within the back. And as soon as you feel content, let's inhale, return back to center, rolling the shoulders back. Maybe blinking the eyes open if your eyes weren't open already. And just take this moment to stretch out your wrists. So I'm just doing little circles. Maybe you flick water. Especially in our Vinyasa Yoga, we do more flowing poses. We want to make sure all kind of stagnant energy, either from sleep or working at a desk, computer, is all shaken out. Just take a moment, free movement. And as soon as you feel content, we're going to allow our hands to side by our hips and slowly paint forward right in front of our knees so that we can roll over the top of them and come to face the top of your mat. I think I changed this position last time, but we're switching it up. So with your knees right underneath your hips, you want to find this line. Tuck your toes underneath themselves to support the integrity of our knees. And hands placed underneath the shoulders will come into some cat-cow poses. This is a staple in Vinyasa Yoga. This is that link breath and body. So on the inhale, I want you to guide the crown of your head up to the ceiling and allowing that tilt in the pelvis to come down. Exhale, we want to do the reverse. Drop the crown of the head towards the ground as we lift the belly button into the spine. Go ahead, find this movement at your own pace. This could be waking up the body or energizing the body. Today's class is all about movement. And not just movement, let's call this mindful movement. Just finding ways to make space. If you're ready, you can begin to move the shoulders, maybe bend the elbows. Or maybe invite some spinal waves. This is one of my favorite Vinyasa favorites. Where you're doing this cat-cow, in any form that you want, you can start back, you can start forward. And reverse the direction. Whatever you're feeling. As soon as you feel satisfied with that free movement, return back to your tabletop. So hands placed underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. And we'll take this moment to inhale our knees up just a little bit to take them off the ground. And slowly walk our feet up towards our hands, coming into a halfway lift. You can stare at the horizon. You can have fingertips onto your mat, maybe hands on shins, or maybe even thighs. Wherever you are, take the next exhale to drop the body into your thighs, letting the head hang heavy. Arms to be nice and loose, releasing any tension in the neck. And when you inhale, slowly come up one vertebrae at a time. Bringing hands up overhead. And exhaling, hands to heart center. We'll be starting today with our sun salutations. We'll be doing sun salutation A and B as we learned in the last class. But we'll still take it very gentle. This is still an awakening movement. So start with your feet about hip distance apart. Maybe you have your hands by your sides, relaxing the shoulders up and back and down. Starting with sun salutation A. Let's take a nice deep inhale, bringing the hands up overhead. And an upward salute, maybe taking a small back bend if you like. And on the exhale, forward fold down, hinging from the hips. Let's inhale that halfway lift, straightening the back, looking towards the horizon. And on the exhale, let's place the palms onto the ground and walk our feet back into a plank position. We're still working with our knees, chest, chin. So while you're in this plank position, let's exhale the knees down to the ground. Then our chest and chin in between our hand placement. When you're inhaling, we're going to inch our body forward and lift our body just to a cobra pose today. So that's a slight bend in our elbows, tucking them in towards the body and keeping our hips down on the ground. Nice open chest, let it radiate forward. And exhale, head down to the mat. Tucking your toes under. Let's inhale, keeping the knees on the mat as we lift to a tabletop, maybe even a plank. And exhale the hips back into downward facing dog. I want you to find your breath here. Allow the head to just rest down. Keeping the fingers spread wide, actively pushing the mat away. We'll breathe here for about 3 more breaths. You can find a cleansing breath here too by inhaling the lungs nice and full. And exhale, release it with a sigh. On your next inhale, I want you to come to the top of your tippy toes, look in between your hands, and just slowly walk your way there into your halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold down. On the inhale, softly rise up, Coming to stand in skandasana, maybe that upward salute, and a little back bend. And exhale, hands to heart center, and down by your sides. We'll be doing that one more time. So have your feet about hip distance apart. Maybe roll the shoulders back, invite that space in. Remember your intention. And inhale, once again, bring hands up to the sky. Maybe small back bend. And exhale, hinge from your hips. Inhale, halfway lift. Looking at the horizon. And exhale, place the hands down, find your plank. Just for today, let's keep with our knees, chest, chin posture. Find that strength there. As we exhale, knees down to the ground. Chest and chin in between the hands. Inhale, let's inch forward, coming into a cobra pose. Really bring those elbows in, allowing the shoulders to roll back and open up the chest. Exhale, head down to the mat. Tucking your toes under. Let's inhale, push back to a plank or tabletop. And exhale, the hips all the way back. Downward facing dog. We'll stay here for 5 breaths. Just feel as if your hips are being pulled up by a string, almost taking the weight off of your hands. Maybe if you're noticing that your heels are not on the ground, they don't have to be, the flexibility will come. Just focus on breathing well in this pose. Find that cleansing breath. Inhale, fill with air, and exhale, sigh it out. On your next inhale, go ahead and lift onto the tippy toes. Look in between your hands and walk your way there into a halfway lift. Looking towards the horizon once again, and exhale, forward fold. Just for today, I want you to grab the elbows with hands and allow yourself to ragdoll. And shake your head yes and no. Maybe allow some little swaying movement by allowing the hips to move the upper half of your body. Just very gentle, allowing anything clinking onto your back to relax off here. When you come back to center, exhale the hands down. And inhale your way all the way up to standing. Bring your hands up overhead. And exhale, hands to heart center. And down by your side. Now we'll just be doing one salutation B. Well, some salutation B. So same thing here, spread out the toes. And really take this moment to find that foundation here. So spread out the toes, really root down. Maybe as a little exercise, we'll have this kind of body roll down that I like to do. So bring your hands to be placed onto your thighs. And what I want you to do is take a nice deep inhale, lengthen your spine. And on the exhale, I want you to slowly slide your hands down your body as you come into a forward fold. Maybe once you reach your feet, you allow your head to completely rest heavy. And when you inhale, I want you to bring the thumb all the way back up. Stopping at your thighs and allow your shoulders to roll up and down. Let's do that one more time. Let's inhale, lengthen, and exhale. Roll the hands down the length of your legs, all the way down to your feet. And inhale, reverse the direction. Moving all the way up until you roll your shoulders up and back. Bring the hands to just radiate the palms towards the front of your room as we begin Sun Salutation B. Take a nice deep inhale, bring the hands up towards the ceiling, maybe that upward salute or back bend. And exhale, forward fold down. Remember, in Sun Salutation B, we'll take this inhale to come into a chair pose. So hands come to stretch up as if you're reaching something off of a high shelf. We have our baby ribs brought in, find that strength in your back. And hips are settled as if you're sitting in a chair. On the exhale, place the hands down onto the ground. And slowly walk your feet back into your plank. And take your vinyasa here. This will be our knee, chest, chin for today. Or maybe chaturanga if you already have that in your practice. When we come back, let's all meet in downward facing dog. I like to press my feet together here. And we'll start with our right foot. So on the inhale, I want you to lift your right foot up towards the sky for a three-legged dog. Maybe you come up onto the toes of the left foot. As we exhale, bring the right knee into the chest and shift the weight forward so we can step our right foot in between our hands. So now you're in this lunge position. Just for today, I want to stay on the tops of my toes. As we inhale, so lift the arms up into warrior one. Well, this isn't warrior one. I believe this is still considered that lunge, but it's a high lunge. On the exhale, I want you to windmill the arms down, framing out that right foot once again. And exhale, send that right foot back into your plank and take your vinyasa. You might be starting to feel a little bit more buildup of heat. This is good. We want that intentional movement. Find your way back to downward facing dog after your vinyasa. Step the feet close together. And this time we'll bring the left leg into the air for three-legged dog on the inhale. Come to the top of the right toes. And on the exhale, bring that left knee into the chest, shifting the weight forward, stepping it between the hands. And we'll come into that high lunge. So on the inhale, hands come up, siding by the ears. And on the exhale, slowly windmill the arms down, planting them to frame out the left foot. And slowly exhale that left foot back and take your vinyasa. Let's all meet downward facing dog. This time for 5 breaths. If you're needing to cool off your body, take a nice deep inhale. And exhale, cleansing breath. Shake your head yes and no as you invite your gaze to look in between your thighs. Just one more solid breath here. And on the inhale, I want you to look in between your hands, come to the top of both toes, and slowly walk your way all the way to the top for a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold down. And on the inhale, slowly rise up, one vertebrae at a time. Bringing your hands up overhead. And exhale, hands to heart center. Take this moment, really ground down, spreading out the toes. Maybe you put your left hand over the heart, right hand over the belly. And just notice where your breath is at, where your heart rate is, And slowly bring that back to a pace that's comfortable for you, or maybe to cool off the body. You can inhale, shoulders to the ears. Exhale, relax them back and down. And just for today, I want you to allow the hands to settle right back towards the hips. As we inhale, hands up overhead. And exhale, hands, not the heart center, but into forward fold. Let the head hang heavy. And from here, we're going to come into Malasana, otherwise known as a Yogi squat. So I want you to walk your feet out. I'll turn towards you. So you're in a forward fold. I want you to walk your feet, heel toe them, till they're about, your heels are about underneath your hips. And we're pointing our toes outward to say maybe the corners of the room. So think about it like a 45-degree angle. On the exhale, I want you to slowly guide your hips down towards the mat. You can keep your hands in front of you for stability. Maybe even invite a block under your seat here as we just stretch open the hips. So if you feel comfortable here, you're finding some nice opening, you can bring hands to heart center. Allow your back of the elbows to push into this meaty part underneath the kneecap. You want to keep the heart open, maybe look up towards the sky, close your eyes. Once you find stability here, maybe we'll invite some new stretches here. So on the exhale, I want you to place those hands forward. Maybe you have a block under your seat or not. And I'm going to invite my right hand to be sturdy, maybe push into that right knee. And we're going to extend that left foot to the side. So the short end of our mat is now parallel with the long end of our foot. And then go ahead and invite that right arm now behind the knee. And we're going to open the body up. You're going to feel that stretch all along this leg. And on the exhale, I want you to swirl that hand back, that upper hand back. Find that stability. Bring that right hand back in as we walk that foot back into Malasana squat. I know you're starting to feel more of that stretch now. You can move from side to side. And we're doing the same onto the right side. So now we have our left hand. Now finding that support, pushing into that left knee. Right hand comes down in the middle, give me some support as we invite that right leg to kick out. Short side with the short side of the mat, parallel to our foot. Allow that left hand now to go behind the knee. Inhale, open up. Nice and over. And on the exhale, allow that arm to windmill back. Bring the left hand back inside. And come back to Malasana squat. You move from side to side, find that opening. And since we're down here, go ahead, allow your hands, come back into the middle. I'm going to be walking back to where you guys are facing. So now with hips open, Malasana squat, we're actually going to rock our knees forward, placing them down, and moving back into a tabletop. So go ahead and move from side to side here, reawaken the spine. And just to relax a little bit more, I want you to find your child's pose. So with your knees onto the ground. Today I want you to bring your knees together for the center of the mat before resting your hips back onto your heels. Arms can stretch forward as you rest your head onto the mat. If this feels good or you want another interpretation of the pose, you can allow the arms to rest around the legs. And find space here. want you to take a nice deep inhale right into the upper back. And exhale, melt. We're going to inhale to the middle back space. Exhale, melt. Inhale into that lower back. And exhale to melt. We'll just stay here for a few minutes. We'll invite some side body stretches as we did our last week. Just take the next inhale to bring the hands back to face the top of your mat, keeping the head lower. And we'll start by walking your hands over to the right side of our mat, or maybe just off to the side. Let the right hand ground on the floor, left hand on top. Breathe into that lower back space. And then exhale as we open up the left side body. With the next inhale, go ahead and walk your hands to the center. And then over to the left side of your mat, or maybe off sides. Take a nice deep inhale. Left hand grounded onto the ground. Right hand on top. Inhale, lower back. Exhale to melt as we open up the right side body. Let's inhale, walk those hands back to center. And slowly unravel back to a tabletop. Feel free to energize the spine here, maybe some spinal waves, maybe moving the shoulders from side to side. Create space exactly where you need it. As soon as you feel ready, I want you to have your hands grounded, fingers splayed out to the sides. And when you're ready, tuck those toes under as we lift our hips back and up for downward facing dog. Feel free to adjust your stance. Let your gaze look in between your thighs or towards your belly button. And when you're ready, I want you to inhale your right knee into your body, slowly shifting the weight forward and stepping that right foot in between your hands. This time we're going to pivot our left foot about that 45 degrees off to the left side. As we inhale our arms up to a warrior two. So find your strength here, bringing in those baby ribs. Allow your gaze to look over the right hand as you bring your right knee over right ankle. Nice steady breath. And we'll begin to find that flowing movement here. So on the exhale, I want you to bend your right arm towards your chest and invite it down to the right thigh. So we're coming to extended side angle pose. We're going to inhale our left hand up and over, finding that nice straight line in our body. Find yourself breathing well. And on the inhale, there's going to be one fluid motion. We're going to inhale to have our left hand reach back. Right hand comes up as you come into reverse warrior. Exhale, windmill, bring that right arm back down to the thigh, extended side angle. Do this about 2 more times on your own, letting the breath guide the movement. Just one more of this flow. And windmill the arms down, framing out your right foot. This time dropping the left knee down to the ground. And today we'll be coming into a pigeon pose. So with your right foot, I want you to heel toe it over to your left hand. If you can begin to open up for pigeon pose here, or allow that right foot to slide down behind that left hand so that the knee can come in between the hands for pigeon pose. We're extending that left leg back, finding the space, opening up the chest, looking up towards the sky. And on the exhale, I want you to walk your hands forward to rest your body onto that leg. I like to clasp my hands here. Maybe you stack one fist on top of the other to rest your forehead on. Maybe you come down to your forearms. Whatever feels the best for you. Wherever you are, I just want you to allow your head to rest. If this pose is feeling a little bit more like stiff, maybe you feel like you're not getting enough space here, you can invite a pillow or block underneath our lifted hip, which could be your right hip right now. And find that space. Just allow that block or prop to assist this pose. And we'll rest here for about a minute or so. Allow every exhale to bring you a little bit deeper. You massage the top of your head, moving it from side to side. When you're ready, let's take an inhale to walk our hands back the way they came. Returning to our chest open up, maybe looking towards the sky. And in this moment, find the grounding with your hands to support this transition as we tuck our left toes under and slowly allow it to walk back to the center to make it easier to send our right foot back to meet it and returning to a tabletop pose. Please shake it out here, re-energize the spine, create that space. And as you tuck both toes under this time, returning to that tabletop, we'll inhale, hips back up for downward facing dog. Find that space, spread the hands out wide. Let the neck completely drop, releasing any tension that's there. And now we'll do the same with our left foot. So inhale, left knee into the chest. Allow the weight to shift forward as you come on top with the right toes. Step that left foot in between the hands. And we'll pivot that right foot to turn towards the right about 45 degrees. And when you're ready, inhale those arms up, warrior two. Nice juicy bend in that front knee. Looking over the fingers of the left hand. And same thing here, we'll find our flow, going from the exhale, the extended side angle. Finding that nice line in our body. And exhale. Actually, we're going to be inhaling into a reverse warrior. Exhale, return to extended side angle. And we'll be doing this 2 more times. So going at your own pace. Finding that movement. One more breath cycle of this. Feeling your body open a little bit more. The next time you come into that reverse warrior, we'll be exhaling to windmill the arms down, framing out our left foot, and dropping our right knee down to the ground. So from here, we'll find our pigeon pose once again. So slowly heel toe your left foot towards your right hand. If you like to open up your pigeon here, or you can allow that left foot to slide back just a little bit more. So we can allow that left knee to come in between the hands, extending that right leg back. Opening up the chest, find this nice pigeon pose. And exhale, walk your hands down to your preferred spot. Just going to do forearms, stacked fists. Maybe you keep the arms extended. And allow your body to fully rest. Maybe you used a block or prop from earlier. You can place this underneath your lifted hip. And allow yourself to melt for just a minute or so. This is a good time to come back to your intention. What are you hoping to fulfill during this practice? And on the next inhale, slowly walk your hands back the way they came. Return to that lifted pigeon pose. And as we tuck those right toes under, slowly walk that right knee back a little bit closer so we can invite the left knee back to meet it. Go ahead and energize your spine here. Wherever you like, I'm going to readjust my mat. You can move the shoulders, the elbows, and when you're ready, we're going to take this moment to bring hands to either side of our body so we can extend. We'll bring our feet to be the top of the mat, extending them out and flexing them as if you're sitting against the wall. Take this moment to sit well. Make sure your hips are nice and even. As we inhale, arms up. And on the exhale, we're going to allow our body to tilt forward for a caterpillar pose or maybe a normal forward fold. I like to encourage this kind of curve in my back, just to relax, not worrying about reaching my toes. Maybe you can do a small halfway lift here, inhaling, straightening the arms, straightening the back. And on the exhale, go ahead and release into a forward fold or caterpillar pose. On the next inhale, slowly unravel back to the seated posture. Making sure you're sitting well. Maybe roll the shoulders back, opening up the chest. And for today, we'll be taking our half lower fish pose or that twist posture a little deeper. So on the inhale, I want you to bring your right foot into your body, keeping that knee lifted. And now we'll invite your right foot to jump over left thigh. We can stay right here. Or maybe you invite this left leg to bend, bringing that left ankle to meet right hip. Not exactly underneath it, but just to the side. Wherever you are, find yourself sitting well, rolling the shoulders back. As we inhale, arms up overhead. And we'll turn to that lifted leg. So now exhale, turn the body to the right. Right hand is grounded behind you for support. And maybe you lift the left hand as that left elbow presses into that lifted knee. The same breathing pattern as we did last week. We want to inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, allow the gaze to look over the right shoulder. If you want some Vinyasa movement here, you can inhale to look over the left shoulder. Exhale, look over the right. Find the movement that feels best for you. As you exhale, keeping that twist just a little bit more. We're going to bring the inhale into our counter posture. You'll bring yourself towards the center and continue to turn towards the left for the counter twist. Inhale again, return back to center, and slowly unravel your legs. So I'm going to have my right foot jump over, and then extend my left leg out, my right, and slowly jump the knees up and down to release any tension that may have been there. Once you feel all clear, we'll bring in our left foot into the body, keeping that left knee lifted. And from here, you can bring the left leg to jump over the right thigh, placing that foot down to the side. And you can stay here for our twist, or maybe you bend that right knee to come into this another variation of this twisting pose. Once you feel comfortable, inhale, arms up overhead. And remember, we're twisting into the knee, so twist to the left on the inhale. Give our left hand behind us to support. Inhaling to lift the right hand up. And find your breathing here by inhaling, straightening your posture. And exhaling to take the gaze to the left. If you want more of that flowing movement, you can inhale looking over the right. Exhale to look over the left. Just being very gentle with your body. And next time you exhale for that twist, bring the next inhale to return to center and continuing over to the other side for the counter twist. Go ahead, inhale back to center, and slowly unravel your legs. You can extend them out towards the top of your mat, and just bounce your knees up and down, releasing any trapped energy anywhere. And we'll come into our boat pose. So allow the bottom of your feet to be placed against the mat. Knees continue to be lifted. And just like last week, let's take this moment to inhale, find that length in your spine. And as you exhale, I want you to shift the weight back as you give flight to your feet. Just find this area where you feel this balance, just like a nice balance between resting back and lifting your legs up. You can hold underneath your thighs, it makes it a little more comfortable. But as soon as you find that spot, let's exhale, plant the feet back onto the ground. We'll be doing 2 more variations of boat pose today. Just find the one that feels best for you. So now we have the one underneath our thighs, hugging underneath. This time I want you to have your hands right parallel with your legs. So as we inhale, find that length. We're going to exhale, lift the legs up. Maybe allow our arms to be parallel with the legs. You can point your toes. I like to do this. Exhale, let's rock forward. And the next one we do, if you want to try it, I'll be grabbing onto my feet. Sometimes it's easier to get these 2, I don't want to say pointer fingers, but 2 fingers, and wrap them around your big toes. You can lift them up. So whichever you choose, grabbing your feet, grabbing your toes for that extension, maybe underneath the legs. So when you're ready, inhale, find that length. Exhale, begin to relax back. So now we have the hug option, having the arms extended. Maybe you're grabbing your feet and extending the legs up, keeping your back nice and straight. Or even grabbing the big toes and extending them up. finding that core strength. And when you're ready, find the exhale as we rest the feet back onto your mat. And we'll move ourselves about midway on our mat so that we can exhale the body all the way down to the ground. You can have your hands right next to your hips. As we come into legs up the wall pose, so take one foot at a time, extending it up towards the ceiling as if you're walking across it. And we just want all of that energy that has been in our feet throughout the practice to just flow back to the rest of our body. So you could extend, we'll flex, make tiny circles, big circles in any direction, freeing up all that energy. Feel yourself being poured into. Once you feel completely satisfied, go ahead and exhale the knees into the chest, taking them in a nice tight hug. Maybe rocking from side to side to massage the lower back and sacrum. Bring it to the other side, reversing the direction if you haven't done so already. And maybe you find happy baby by grabbing the insides of your feet, allowing the knees to splay out to the side, and just rocking side to side. Feeling this nice little cradle. And as we approach this final pose of today's class, I invite you to Yogi's Choice, taking whatever pose you deem necessary to close out today's class. This can even be a moment to drink some water, find a blanket to roll up underneath your neck, maybe even adjusting the lighting, grabbing an essential oil. Whatever it is, take these few minutes for yourself to get comfortable for Shavasana. So giving that a minute. When you're ready for Shavasana, I want you to extend the bottoms of your feet towards the end of your mat, maybe even the bottom corners, spreading the legs apart. Allow the hands to fully relax next to the hips. Rolling your shoulders underneath to invite that space underneath the neck to open. And finally, closing your eyes to the outward gaze. Let's take a cleansing breath here. Inhaling our lungs to the fullest. And exhale, release. You've made it. Shavasana. Allow your breath to become natural as you rest here for a few minutes. This is fully your space to take up and to relax in. Know you are fully safe and supported. begin to return to now. Keeping still in Shavasana, I invite you to bring the breath back into the body. Wiggling the fingers and the toes. And inviting the breath to awaken the energy centers, starting from the root and breathing in all the way through the spine, past your heart, into your throat, past the third eye and out of the crown of your head. Allow yourself to awaken anew by taking to one side of your mat and resting here in a fetal position. Keeping the gaze low or the eyes closed, softly push your way back to your meditative seat, ending the class as we began. You can find hands to rest on top of the knees or maybe palms towards the sky. Maybe even left hand over heart, right hand over the belly. Noticing your breath, noticing your body in its fullness. Take this moment to thank your body, thank your soul for creating space for you to just exist today with intentional movement, with peace in your body. On the inhale, I want you to bring hands to heart center, placing them in Anjali Mudra or prayer hands. As we bring the tops of the thumbs to the third eye for clarity of thought. Then pressed against the lips for clarity of speech. And finally pressing into the heart center for clarity of action. I thank you for sharing your practice with me today. And may you continue to embrace your radiance. And so it is. Ashe.